Genesis. Chapter 10. Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, of Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and sons were born to them after the flood. The sons of Japheth, Gomer and Magog and Madai and Javan and Tubal and Meshech and Tiras. And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz and Riphath and Togarmah. And the sons of Javan, Elishah and Tarshish, Kittim and Rodanim. From these the islands and coastal regions of the nations were separated into their lands, every one according to his tongue, according to their families, in their nations. And the sons of Ham, Cush and Mizraim and Put and Canaan. And the sons of Cush, Seba and Havilah and Sabtah and Raamah and Sabtecha. And the sons of Raamah, Sheba and Dedan. And Cush begot Nimrod, he began to be a mighty one on the earth. He was a mighty hunter before Jehovah, therefore it is said, like Nimrod a mighty hunter before Jehovah. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel and Erech and Akkad and Calneh, in the land of Shinar. From that land he went into Assyria and built Nineveh and Rehoboth-ir and Calah. And Rezin between Nineveh and Calah, that is, the great city. And Mizraim begot the Ludim and the Anamim and the Lehabim and the Naphtuhim. And the Pathrusim and the Casluim, from which came the Philistines, and the Caphtorim. And Canaan begot Sidon his firstborn and Hate. And the Jebusites and the Amorites and the Girgashites. And the Hivites and the Archites and the Sinites. And the Arvadites and the Zemarites and the Hamathites, and afterward the families of the Canaanites were spread out. And the territory of the Canaanites was from Sidon, as you go toward Gerar, as far as Gaza, and as you go toward Sodom and Gomorrah and Admah and Zeboim, as far as Lasha. These are the sons of Ham, according to their families, according to their tongues, in their lands, in their nations. And also to Shem, the father of all the children of Eber, the eldest brother of Japheth, children were born. The sons of Shem, Elam and Ashur and Arpachshad and Lud and Aram. And the sons of Aram, Uzi and Hul and Gether and Mash. And Arpachshad begot Shelah, and Shelah begot Eber. And to Eber were born two sons, the name of the one was Peleg, for in his days the earth was divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. And Joktan begot Almadad and Shalef and Hazarmaveth and Jerah. And Hadaram and Uzal and Diklah. And Obal and Abimael and Sheba. And Ophir and Havilah and Jobab, all these were the sons of Joktan. And their dwelling was from Mesha, as you go toward Sephar, the hill country of the east. These are the sons of Shem, according to their families, according to their tongues, in their lands, according to their nations. These are the families of the sons of Noah, according to their generations, in their nations, and from these the nations were separated on the earth after the flood. Genesis. Chapter 11. And the whole earth had one language and the same speech. And as they journeyed east, they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said to one another, Come, let us make bricks and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and they had tar for mortar. And they said, Come, let us build ourselves a city in a tower whose top is in the heavens, and let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be scattered over the surface of the whole earth. And Jehovah came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men had built. And Jehovah said, Behold, they are one people, and they all have one language, and this is only the beginning of what they will do, and now nothing which they purpose to do will be kept from them. Come, let us go down and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So Jehovah scattered them from there over the surface of all the earth, and they ceased building the city. Therefore its name was called Babel, because there Jehovah confounded the language of all the earth, and from there Jehovah scattered them over the surface of all the earth. These are the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old when he begot Arpachshad, 2 years after the flood. And Shem lived after he had begotten Arpachshad 500 years, and he begot more sons and daughters. And Arpachshad lived 35 years and begot Shelah. And Arpachshad lived after he had begotten Shelah 403 years, and he begot more sons and daughters. And Shelah lived 30 years and begot Eber. And Shelah lived after he had begotten Eber 403 years, and he begot more sons and daughters. And Eber lived 34 years and begot Peleg. And Eber lived after he had begotten Peleg 430 years, and he begot more sons and daughters. And Peleg lived 30 years and begot Reu. And Peleg lived after he had begotten Reu 209 years, and he begot more sons and daughters. And Reu lived 32 years and begot Serug. And Reu lived after he had begotten Serug 207 years, and he begot more sons and daughters. And Serug lived 30 years and begot Nahor. And Serug lived after he had begotten Nahor 200 years, and he begot more sons and daughters. And Nahor lived 29 years and begot Terah. And Nahor lived after he had begotten Terah 119 years, and he begot more sons and daughters. And Terah lived 70 years and begot Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begot Abram, Nahor, and Haran. And Haran begot Lot. And Haran died before his father Terah in the land of his birth, in Ur of the Chaldeans. And Abram and Nahor took wives for themselves. The name of Abram's wife was Sarai, and the name of Nahor's wife was Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah and the father of Iscah. And Sarai was barren, she had no child. And Terah took Abram his son and Lot the son of Haran, his son's son, and Sarai his daughter-in-law, his son Abram's wife, and they went out together from Ur of the Chaldeans to go to the land of Canaan, but when they came to Haran they settled there. And the days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran. Genesis. Chapter 12. Now Jehovah said to Abram, Go from your land and from your relatives and from your father's house to the land that I will show you. And I will make of you a great nation, and I will bless you and make your name great, and you shall be a blessing. And I will bless those who bless you, and he who curses you I will curse, and in you all the families of the earth will be blessed. So Abram went as Jehovah had spoken to him, and Lot went with him. Now Abram was 75 years old when he went out of Haran. And Abram took Sarai his wife and Lot his brother's son and all their possessions that they had gathered, and the souls that they had acquired in Haran, and they went out to go to the land of Canaan. And they came to the land of Canaan. And Abram passed through the land to the place of Shechem, to the oak of Moreh. And at that time the Canaanites were in the land. And Jehovah appeared to Abram and said, To your seed I will give this land. And there he built an altar to Jehovah who had appeared to him. And he proceeded from there to the mountain on the east of Bethel and pitched his tent, with Bethel on the west and Ai on the east, and there he built an altar to Jehovah and called upon the name of Jehovah. And Abram journeyed onward, journeying toward the Negev. And there was a famine in the land, and Abram went down to Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was severe in the land. And when he was about to enter into Egypt, he said to Sarai his wife, I know indeed that you are a beautiful woman to look at. And when the Egyptians see you, they will say, This is his wife, and they will kill me, but they will keep you alive. Now say you are my sister, that it may be well with me on account of you and I may live because of you. And it came about when Abram came to Egypt, the Egyptians saw that the woman was very beautiful. And Pharaoh's officials saw her and praised her before Pharaoh, and the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house. And he treated Abram well on account of her, and he had sheep and oxen and donkeys and male servants and female donkeys and camels. And Jehovah struck Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarai, Abram's wife. And Pharaoh called Abram and said, What is this you have done to me? Why did you not tell me that she was your wife? Why did you say, She is my sister, so that I took her to be my wife? Now then here is your wife, take her and go. And Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him, and they sent him away with his wife and all that he had.